Good morning. My name is Pilar Carrillo Farga. I am the author of the translation of Le Avventure di Pinocchio, which will be published by Ediciones del Lirio. For the same publishing house, Ediciones del Lirio, and also presented in this fair, I have translated The Social History of Photography, an astounding journey through the history of photography as seen from a very fascinating point of view by the Italian photographer Ando Gilardi. In 2021, we will celebrate 100 years after his birth with the printing of this book, which means an overwhelming enterprise between Ediciones del Lirio and the Fototeca Storica Nazionale Ando Gilardi. Someone may think that there are so many translations of Pinocchio adventures. I'd rather say remakes and abridged editions, so I think it is important to say something about it to highlight its most relevant characteristics. The first episode of the Adventures of Pinocchio was published in issue number 1 of the Giornale per I Bambini on July 1881. Since then, this small piece of dried wood has been loved by millions of readers and has become a cultural phenomenon to the extent that the novel of his history, narrated by the Italian Carlo Lorenzini, is the third most read book in the world after the Bible and the Quran, and has been translated to more than 300 languages and dialects. So why it is so famous? What on earth does the original novel talk about that has transcended centuries, fashions, and tastes? And especially its message is still valuable in these present days? Since the first times of the novel, it has had the public and the critics' agreement, and there is no doubt that these characteristics I am talking about are not so hidden because new translations to many languages are continuously published, but also, especially these last years, there have also been produced many films based on this story. In the pages of the novel, the author touches on many subjects that it can be seen not merely as kids' literature, but also it can be analyzed from psychiatric, sociocultural, political, historical, and even religious and esoteric points of view. But the most important characteristic, I think, it is a Bildungsroman. Most of the people think that Pinocchio is a story of a liar punished each time he is on truth with the abnormal growth of his nose. This is true indeed, even if it happens only starting from the second part of the book. But it is by all means untrue that this may be the essence of the novel. A lot of people in the world are confident with the 1940s Disney's animated musical film. Maybe due to the magnificent colors and cartoons, they are prone to think that the sense they gave is the same as the novel. Nevertheless, quite otherwise. Pinocchio is about free will. Pinocchio is about the transformation of a normal boy into a civil man. Legend has it that Cavour, immediately after the unification of Italy in 1861, said, "We have already made Italy. Now we have to make Italians." And this endeavor was taken very seriously by the Florentine author who dedicated part of his work to this enterprise. Carlo Lorenzini, this was the real name under the pen name Collodi, was a journalist. He founded the satirical journal Il Lampione and L'Arte, dedicated to theater critique. He was a translator himself and translated some fairy tales of Perrault, the Countess of Aulnoy, and of Madame le Prince de Beaumont. Not many know that Collodi also wrote school books, very interesting, funny, and hilarious school books indeed. The main character of these works was Giannettino, who, through his travels around the newly founded Italy, taught geography, math, and many other things to all Italian boys and girls. Knowing about this present work, we understand that both the school books and Pinocchio are a sort of guide for the inhabitants of Collodi's country on how to become a real citizen. Pinocchio, going through all kinds of difficulties and acting and taking decisions, utilizing his free will, many times had gone astray. He often took bad decisions, but none of the characters he founded along his path understood his situation. They scolded him and forced him to lie. But in each one of these cases, he found himself alone the way to become a human being. This is why Ediciones del Lirio will publish the stories of this rascal puppet. One of the many attributes of Ediciones del Lirio is the broad spectrum of its interests, which denote the incredible sense they have of the world we are living in. This is the reason why they dare to publish a book about freedom, boldness, civic duty. Ediciones del Lirio understands the need for a text that teaches us how to be real citizens and real human beings amid these troubled times. Thank you.